Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Hold on. Let's see. All right. Good evening, family. Today is going to be a very short session. I'm going to keep it at 30 minutes. Just like it says here, a 30-minute session. So let's get into it. I don't want to waste too much time. Good to have you here, brothers. Appreciate you guys for being here. Title is, I guess, somewhat interesting. People are like onions. The less you peel, the less you know. You know, I've met a lot of people in this walk. And yeah, the fortunate thing and an unfortunate thing is that you get to find out that people have a lot of masks. And people are very inconsistent. And the same people that are very inconsistent are the ones that eventually show their face and express their ways. This channel has never been about no cholo gangster shit. Even though I grew up in the hood. And for me, it was pointless to even go anywhere near that stupidity. Because that is not what we are. Like that cholo shit doesn't define raza. I know that in the Americas, where the Anglo and the other nations are hanging around, that a lot of our gente think that that's what is being raza. You guys are fucking far from the understanding of that meaning. And I chose this title because just like the less you peel an onion, the less you know. It goes vice versa for the other people that you're looking at and for yourself as well. The less you know of yourself, the less you know, period. There's a lot of people that want to claim they believe in this book, even go to the points of showing classes or bring in camps that supposedly were like related to them, but then you see their fuck ups. And then all of a sudden the scriptures are like not there anymore. You know, the thing is about our creator is that he exposes your fakeness. Like he really brings it out to the table. So in a way, this class is dedicated for the fakery of self and the others. And whenever I do these particular topics, it's because I do this all the time about me. Self-examination. So let's start.
Let's face it. We've all encountered fake people at some point in our lives. You know, those who smile in your face but talk behind your back, or those who only show up when they need something. Dealing with them can be tricky, but today, I'll share a unique perspective to handle such situations with grace and power. First, understand this. Fake people are like actors in a play. They wear masks to hide their true elves. But here's the twist. You're not the audience. You're the director of your life. You decide who gets to stay in your story and who gets written out. Step 1. Identify the signs. Are their actions inconsistent with their words? They vanish during tough times, but reappear when things are smooth? Awareness is your first weapon against fakery. Step 2. Set boundaries. Don't confront fake people with anger that's giving them the power to control your emotions. Instead, politely but firmly limit their access to your life. Remember, not everyone deserves a front row seat. Step 3. Don't play their game. Fake people thrive on drama. Starve them of attention, and they'll eventually fade away. Keep your energy focused on genuine connections, those who uplift, inspire, and support you. And finally, step 4. Learn the lesson. Fake people can teach us about authenticity. They remind us of the value of real relationships and the importance of being true to ourselves. Remember, you're not here to expose fake people. You're here to outgrow them. Surround yourself with real ones because life is too short for counterfeit connections.
Too short for counterfeit connections. I was trying to come up with a better video that I thought would really hit the point, you know. First Timothy 4:16 says, watch yourself. This is in the GNV translation. Watch yourself and watch your teaching. You understand that? Watch yourself and watch your teaching. You see, there's something I learned the other day. It's like training the trainer, right? Now you would think training the trainer. A lot of, some of y'all, actually most of you may misunderstand what that means. But for example, when you're training somebody, the person that's really getting trained is the trainer. As a good trainer, you need to know who your student is, your pupil, so to speak, or your employee, however you want to put it. They're training you on how they are. Are they going to show up? Are they going to be consistent? Are they gonna like get emotional and flick on you when you may not see eye to eye with them, and all of a sudden they like just disappear and shit, just because there was a rough moment. Maybe I didn't agree with certain things I said to some people. You know, it's so interesting that it's become that. I find it I find it so I don't know. Maybe it's amazing to me, man. It's like whenever I start a channel about arguing, man, everybody wants to listen to that shit. The other day I thought about something within me said, you know what I mean? Time for you to kind of take a step back. And the reason why I'm also, now that I put some prayers to it, is because you want to know something? There's a lot of viewers, not a lot of doers. A lot of viewers, not a lot of doers. And sometimes you need others to fill that void. So again, watch yourself, you know, as you're bringing this out, and watch your teachings. Who are you leading, and who are you attracting? What kind of people? Fake ones, real ones, or the ones that get offended right away, and then they want to skedaddle and, oh, I'm gonna go back to my entertainment, because that's what I see a lot of some of you guys, man. And you know, I'm disappointed at you, because you guys are adults, fucking grown ass men, bro. Grown ass man, and because I just didn't see eye to eye with a situation, and you let some idiot fucking cause division, then you got all emotional. So much for being about raza. That's what the video was saying, man. Those that are only there when the times are good, and for you guys that just kind of flake on me and shit, because you're going through some shit, bro. Then I wonder how in the world did the Most High ever put this in your mind to think that you were a leader. Watch yourselves and watch your teaching. Keep on doing these things, because if you do, you will save both yourself and those who hear you. That's peeling the onion, man. You know, and I appreciate you two brothers or sisters that are watching. Hey, look, listen, 2 people isn't enough. I'm only going 30 minutes, and this I'm out. So let's get to it, man, because I'm already killing some time. It took about 4 minutes to get going, so I will be finished at, we're in 12, probably about 10:15. All right, so I'm gonna try to get going as fast as I can. Let me speed up my process, because I want to get through these verses. I'm gonna bring a lot of verses, some videos, and let's go. Sirach 23:1. Lord, Father, and Governor of all my whole life, lead me not to their counsel, and let me not fall by them. Let's continue reading, because it doesn't end there. Who will set scourges over my thoughts, and discipline of wisdom over mine heart, meaning mine, that they may spare me not from my ignorance, and it pass not by my sins. Here we see who will set scourges over my thoughts. That's understanding that there is something in this brain of yours that may want to fool you, and will actually fool you to be fooled. It'll make you believe that so-called brothers or friends are your real brothers and friends. And see what I'm saying? At the same time, the mind is the issue here. Lest not my ignorance increase. This is being mindful now. You see, I'm gonna speak from myself. When I started understanding these things, I started realizing how ignorant I was. Not dumb, just ignorant. So it says, let not my ignorance increase. By what? By being misled with the scourges of my thoughts, and my sins bound to my destruction. And I fall before my adversaries, and my enemy rejoiced over me. Because guess what? That's like the other day, there was a situation with a couple brothers, and you know, this enemy went in there, and this is what he did. He divided, first of all, you two, and then one of you, not the other one, but one of you just disappeared. Now you all emotional. I see you chopping it up in some of the channels and shit, like all active and like, ah, man. And that's unfortunate, because that shows weakness. That shows immaturity. That just shows exactly what this so-called brotherhood means to some people. You get what I'm saying? Wisdom of Solomon 14, because apparently, you know, whatever we share, it's beyond that change. It wasn't about change with you people, bro. You just want to see what fucking newsletters out there. And that's the sad shit. Wisdom of Solomon 9:14, for the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable. We just learned earlier about the scourges over my thoughts. For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weighs down the mind that museth upon many things. For the corruptible body press down the soul. You see what that means? So what are we seeing here? If you're not mindful of the onion that you got and you ain't peeling, guess what? You're going to get destroyed like this. And the earthly tabernacle weighs down the mind that museth upon many things. That's exactly the battle with when it comes to sin. However you want to interpret sin, but basically just doing the wrong thing. Whether it's, excessive usage of something, or, pornographic shit, and like you just, you're hiding it to yourself. Like, bro, you're not hiding it from anybody. Every sin that we're committed, we ain't hiding it from nobody. I don't know why you guys think we're hiding it from anyone. We ain't hiding it from nobody. Genesis 19:24. And the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone fire from the Lord out of heaven. Verse 26. But his wife looked back from behind, and she became a pillar of salt. That is basically that letting your ignorance increase again, and your sins bound to my destruction. We just read that earlier in Sirach 23. She looked back because why? Her fins were like beholden to her. She liked that shit. She lusted for the things that Sodom and Gomorrah gave her. But his wife looked back from behind, and she became a pillar of salt. And we remind you, Wisdom of Solomon 9:4, 9:15, for the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weighed down the mind that museth upon many things. You see that? Looking back, not letting go, not repenting, not cleansing, not sincerely doing it. No. Only to your liking. I kind of like what you're doing, brother. But I don't really believe in that Bible. I don't really want to apply myself because, what about, some weird ass questions I get sometimes. So let's continue. Romans 7:22, for I delight in the law of God after the inward man. So here we see Paul talking about something spiritual inwardly. I find it so funny that people want to attack the same thing that they are believing in, but because they hear it different, it is a problem. And see, the thing is, I'm not the problem. You're the problem. At the end of the day, that's what it is, man. We're all searching for salvation. What makes you think you're 100% and what makes you think I'm 100%? See, I stand by that because I know for a fact that somebody's wrong and someone's going to really get crushed. And I'm very mindful of that. So I pay attention to these little things that I see in these verses. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. When we just read earlier about the scourging your thoughts, about the, who's going to lead me to my ignorance, right? Here he's talking about that there's something he feels internally about doing the right thing, for lack of better terms. Keeping the commandments, not sinning, or just doing the right thing. Not lusting, not doing this, not doing that, not what it's a sin. Like you all know what you do wrong, but no, you think because you're hiding it from, I don't know, your significant other, whatever, your husband, wife, that you think it's okay. No, it's not, man. But I see another law in my members warring against the law of my mind, bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, he understood. It is a battle. Damn right it is. But again, if you ain't peeling the onion, then you ain't knowing nothing else. The less you peel, the less you know. This is what this whole book is about. I don't know what you guys thought it was. Is it about battling and shit? Is that what it is? Or I'm an Old Testament keeper. Well, I'm a New Testament keeper. So let's battle it out because, is it about battling or is it really about changing? You guys talk about a big game, and not just y'all, Christmas Christians too, man. You guys all talk about a big game that you love God and you keep his commandments. And I'm like, I see what you guys do. And none of you guys do this. None of us do. None of you guys do that. Not the so-called Old Testament believers or BHIs or Christmas Christians. None of you guys do, because in every angle y'all carrying hate, specifically to your brethren. If I don't agree with BHI, guess what? I'm a heathen. If I don't agree with Old Testament keepers, guess what? I don't have knowledge. If I don't keep Christmas, guess what? Oh, I don't believe in God. It's amazing, man. Isaiah 51:16. It says, and I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. Hold on. Oh, my bad. It was Sirach. My bad. I know I was wrong on that. I was like, what the hell? Sirach 51:16. I bowed down mine ear a little, and received and got much learning. Now we're going to stay in Sirach for a little bit, okay? So just follow me here. Verse 18. For I propose to do after her, meaning wisdom, discipline, and earnestly I follow that which is good. So I shall not be confounded by little things, or by the things that I say to you, because apparently that made you upset. My soul hath wrestled with her, and in my doings I was exact. I stretched forth my hands to the heavens above, and bewailed my ignorance of her. My soul hath wrestled with her, and my doings I was exact. Do you see this? So discipline, like just like how the flesh battles the spirit. Here we see discipline putting the spirit in check. And that's why we see, and in my doings I was exact, meaning I was straightened. I wrestled with wisdom. I wrestled with discipline. I stretched forth my hands to the heavens above, and bewailed my ignorance of her. At that point, you realize, like, shit, I thought I knew. I didn't know shit. I directed my soul unto her, and found her in pureness. It's sincerity. I have had my heart joined with her from the beginning, therefore shall I not be forsaken. Verse 21, my heart was troubled in seeking, therefore I have gotten a good possession. My mind was troubled in seeking, meaning it's not an easy walk, man. It's a lonely one. And sometimes a very confusing one. And a lot of times a misunderstood one. And a lot of times a hateful one. And a lot of times you just say, man, the hell with all this. But that's part of the walk, whether you want to accept it or not. Sirach 4:17, for at first she will walk with him by crooked ways, because that's exactly what is straightening exact, or making exact. Straightening up yourself. And bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline. You see this? Torment him with her discipline. You start examining yourself, and you're like, damn, man, I messed up here. Damn, man, I messed up there. Damn, man, I did this to my children. Damn, man, I did this to my wife. Damn, man, I did it to my mom. Damn, I did that to my... Yeah, it's like that. It's exactly like that. Until she may trust his soul. So you're still getting tested as you're being refined. Meaning not everything is going to be exposed, like disclosed to you. And I can see why a lot of you guys, because, I don't really have a lot of conversations with sisters, but a lot of you guys that I've talked to in the past, y'all really, that's just exactly what happens, man. There is some, I don't know if it's just insincerity within yourself, like, or you're being disingenuous and you don't know it. It's just, man. And try him by her laws. Then will she return the straight way unto him, and comfort him, and show him her secrets. And a lot of it has to do with wisdom, balancing your life together, man, on a private level too, because it's not just about this YouTube shit, Some of us do have it pretty bad, man. I do talk to some brothers that have it pretty bad, and I respect you for what you guys, for what you go through. So I can't always complain, man. Psalms 45:7, thou loveth righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore God, thy God, had anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. I thought I'd bring that out because I want to show you something real quick. See, if I am a wicked man because I believe in the New Testament, then I guess I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I've learned a lot from this book. I've learned a lot from the old, the Apocrypha, and the new. It wasn't just one side of the book. It was everything. And I came towards it with sincerity because my life does matter. I did fuck up. I was a piece of shit. I had a broken heart and a broken spirit. Damn right. And I am not ashamed to say that shit, man. Listen to what I just read before I play this video. Psalms 45:7, Thou loveth righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore God, thy God, had anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. So this is in Spanish. Let me see if I can get it translated in English. Here we see a lady explaining what is an old bottle. In case you guys don't know, in the Bible it says old bottle. Okay. In Spanish it says odre viejo. All right. Odre viejo. So she's gonna explain what a old wine bottle is, or odre viejo. Okay, we just read about the anointing of the oil. Listen to this and open up your spirit a bit. Discern what she's about to say, because I'm about to finish in 15. Okay, this, like I said, this is a 30-minute session. Pay attention.
Odre viejo, como usted puede ver, está totalmente endurecido. Esto no soportaría nunca el vino nuevo que se expande, porque ya perdió su capacidad de ser expandido. Entonces, para renovar este odre hay que suavizarlo, se sumerge en aceite por varios meses y luego tiene que golpearse para que todos estos endurecimientos vengan a ser suaves y la piel vuelva a ser expansiva. Entonces, si usted no sabía lo que era un odre viejo, este es un odre viejo.
So, as hopefully you understand what she said, odre viejo, an old wine bottle. This is what it actually meant in this book here. Okay, it's not like a glass bottle. It's an old wine bottle. And back in the day, they used to make wine bottles out of leather. Mark 2:20 talks about no man. Mark 2:22 talks about no man putteth new wine into old bottles. Why? Because un odre viejo, it becomes like after some time, the shape as you're drinking the wine, obviously it shrinks in size because the liquid is draining. Then it starts molding like a cast. And then it just takes a firm shape and does not move anymore, meaning there's no elasticity. Do you understand now? So when you want to use a bottle again with new wine, it won't hold it. It'll burst because the wine itself, right? I mean, I don't know the whole chemical reaction part, but you can imagine what would cause it. So now here's the interesting part. No man putteth new wine into old bottles, else the new wine burst the bottles, and the wine is spilled, and the bottle will be marred, but the new wine must be put into new bottles. So here we see that you need to be a new bottle. But here's the question. How does one become a new bottle? Well, we just listen to the sister say, listen, you have to be put in oil first, because it says here, look,
Endurecido. Esto no
she says that the older it is, you can see it's totally hardening. So she says that you have to submerge.
vino nuevo que se expande porque ya perdió su capacidad.
So it's like, she's talking about the expansion. So here he says this.
Hay que suavizarlo, se sumerge en aceite por varios.
See this? So she says, in order to soften this bottle again, odre viejo, you have to submerge it in oil for several months. Okay? Several months you submerge it in oil.
Luego tiene que golpearse.
And then after it's taken out of oil, it has to be beaten up to create the elasticity again. This is why Sirach 6:23 speaks in these terms. It says, give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel. We've kept hearing this previous verses. And put thy feet into her fetters, meaning put your feet into her chains, and thy neck into her, and put into her shackles. I'm sorry, and thy neck into her chains. If you've been arrested and they put shackles on your ass, you can't walk fast, you can't run, you are limited in your movement. So this, in a sense, is talking about put your mind right and get into this discipline. Bow down thy shoulders and bear her, and be not grieved by her bonds. Meaning, after some time, because it's like this is a process, and you're gonna get beat up, and your mind's gonna go nuts on you, and you're gonna start wondering and doubting. But that's when you start really focusing and examining on who the hell you are. Peel that fucking layer back. And that's what it talks about when you take out the old vessel. I mean, the old bottle out of the oil, and you beat it up. That's what you're going through with this walk, with this understanding, with with this information. That is, this should not only be knowledge; it should be wisdom, applicable. Knowledge doesn't matter unless it's applied. I don't care what you know. If you don't apply it, don't matter what you know. You could be all knowledgeable, all marvelous, like, oh, you know this, and it don't matter. You can't apply wisdom. So knowledge doesn't mean shit. Bow down thy shoulders and bear her, and be not grieved by her bonds. Meaning, when you're getting that ass whooping of the change in the mind, you say you say you're a Hebrew, but you ain't keeping no. And I'm talking about even the basic stuff. Like, you're still eating pork. You're still working in an industry you should not be working in. You know damn well that's against the commandments the Most High says. But no, it don't matter. No. You know what I mean? That's all I can do. Then you don't give a shit. Then you just don't care. You're not putting yourself in these shackles. Come on to her, verse 23. Come on to her, 26. Come on to her with thy whole heart, meaning sincerely, man. Because guess what? If you really, really mean this change, then you would know exactly what I mean when I say I was a bottom barrel alcoholic. I had no choice. I had nowhere to go. I was at the last street, at the last house, and the last door, and the last window. That's it. I had nowhere else to go but up. I've been in the belly of hell. Come on to her with thy whole heart. Keep her ways with all thy power. After that ass whooping, because eventually it does get better. Search and seek, and she will be made known unto thee. And when thou hast got a hold of her, let her not go. This is that being sunk in oil, dipped for a long time. That's the experience. That's the whole cleansing your mind and yourself, and like, what are you really about, man? Is it just for show? Is it because you want to have friends? Is it because you don't want to be alone? Or, you know, what is the deal, yo? Or is it really because you do want to sincerely change and you examine yourself completely? Or is it just a facade so you can carry a big long beard and tell somebody that they're wrong? Because a lot of times I see a lot of you guys doing that. For at last thou shalt find her rest, and shall be turned to thy joy. Then shall her feathers be strong defense for thee, and her chain a robe of glory. Sirach 51:23. I told you guys I wasn't going to go long. Sirach 51:23 says, draw near unto me, ye unlearned, and dwell in the house of learning. So there it's basically telling you, if you really are serious about this particular change, or at least what this book has given you, verse 26, put your neck under the yoke and let your soul receive instructions. She is hard at hand to find. It is not easy. So if you're still lusting, looking at porn, getting shit-faced completely, man, completely destroying your family, like, you're just not about, and you have anger and resentment, and you think that that's righteous because, I'm supposed to be angry. Nah, you're supposed to be angry, but I hear a lot of you guys talk with hate. You misunderstand the way I speak. I had a mission. There was a time where it went a little bit too far for me. I had to back down a bit. I'm like, yo, I'm getting nuts here. I'm starting to really hate. I didn't like that feeling. Scriptures talk about be at peace with all men as best as you can, because you have any type of hate in your heart, you ain't never seeing nothing. And if you're in this because supposedly you're gonna have a lot of power and a lot of women and a lot of money, and bro, you guys are in it for the wrong thing, man. Or if you want to be bosses towards somebody, then you can do that in the real life. You don't need to actually like think you know what you're reading. Matthew 11:29, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. See, learn from this, for the yoke is easy, my burden is light. A lot of times, man, I sometimes wonder why our gente just doesn't get it. A lot of you guys talk like, oh, I'm on my people. I know some of you brothers, you do what you can, and I appreciate that. But a lot of you, man, disappointing. Disappointing, because you know what? Our gente is really the ones that are getting out completely, man, just going through some shit. And you guys would prefer talking about cholo shit and gangster shit and and I don't know, some stupid news or like, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. Y'all make me sad, man. You guys make me sad. You say you care about Raza, and what are you doing? You got platforms. What are you doing? You rather talk shit between each one of y'all, and oh, so said this, and so said that, and thought it, man, you guys are a disgrace. I heard one guy say, "Oh, homeboys ain't supposed to be out there protecting their neighborhoods like that." Like, what? Wait, hold on. The reason why there was even gangs was because of protecting the community, fool. Even I know that shit. Sad, bro. All right, after these, I'm out.
Really quick, and I just want to debunk one thing. My colleagues and I think for our federal partners, but this idea that the worst of the worst is inside the facility is not true. They are separating them based off of wristbands, based off of orange, yellow, and red. And individuals with small infractions are inside this facility. Civil traffic infractions, suspended license are in there. So the idea that the worst of the worst is in there is not true.
So adding to that point, I'll just add, the only people we saw there were Hispanic looking males. That's all we saw there. All Hispanic looking adult males, including those with no criminal infractions at the lowest level. There was one person who was on medical isolation. We couldn't get details about that. I was trying to figure out if it's a public health emergency or a public health concern that puts them in isolation, and we don't know how many people have been put in medical isolation to this point.
I've made
are better than you. Yeah, I said it. And if that bothers you, well, damn, that's the point. See, MAGA was born here in a country they didn't earn, in a system built for them, on stolen land soaked in entitlement. They didn't have to fight for citizenship, didn't have to risk their lives crossing deserts or oceans, didn't have to learn a new language or start over from nothing. But immigrants, they risk everything just for a shot at what MAGA was just handed. And then they outwork them, out-hustle them, out-dream them, out-love them, outlove this country more than people waving flags they don't even understand the meaning of. Immigrants aren't storming capitals. They're building businesses, raising kind, respectable kids, paying taxes while being told they don't belong, and keeping their heads down while someone in a red hat calls them a criminal. And while MAGA's out here whining, oh, they broke the law, they came in illegally. Let's talk about the real criminals, the ones who tried to overthrow democracy, the ones who threatened election workers, the ones who commit violence in the name of patriotism. Immigrants aren't the threat. They're the standard. And maybe instead of deporting brown people, we should be questioning why the most entitled, violent, and loud group in this country keeps getting a free pass. So yeah, immigrants are better than MAGA supporters in every single way. Let that sink in.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.